Perfect.
Hey guys, Matt Couch here. Thanks for checking out another video. Today's video is going to be part two of our position-specific research articles. The first video we did was analyzing the first research article that goes along with our blog post and how it is important to train for your specific position. Also, it talks about how each position has different characteristics, different demands, both technical, tactical, physiological, and similar to that, this article touches on, again, the importance of why position specific training needs to be implemented into training sessions as well as outside of training sessions when you're doing it on your own. So let's get right into the article. All right, so the intro, again, the intro just outlines some important things that the research article goes over. One, we all know this. If not, you do now. There are various physical, technical, tactical, and physiological factors in soccer. Speed, agility, strength, aerobic, anaerobic abilities are very important to our sport. Individual player requirements during training are important to consider. Again, forwards and defenders, totally different jobs on the field. So their specific skills, their specific requirements in a game or training need to be tailored for them. There's differences, again, differences in total distance, sprint distance, strength, body composition. Their article talked about this a lot also. Power, the VO2 max, all of these things are important when designing, considering a position specific training program. And then it goes into some of the different positions and what their specific requirements are, where they're better and where they're lacking. So fullbacks, higher anaerobic, midfielders, they pretty much outperformed everyone. They change their sprinting ability, they walk less, they're running more, they have a higher VO2 max, and they're running greater distances. Playing position dictates absolute performance loads. So your position determines how much, pretty much, your performance work rate and how much you're actually putting into the game. So the performance load is how much you're actually working. Physical fitness differs based on playing position. I think we know this. You can see this in games where midfielders, they are working a lot more area they're covering. Fullbacks, forwards, not so much. So the physical fitness demands there are very different. And along with that, the physical body composition, you'll see different players having different physical makeups, right? Center backs, generally bigger, stronger players. Forwards, maybe a number 9 is similar to a center back. Not always, but forwards generally going to be faster, a little leaner, a little smaller. Midfielders, again, they're probably all around. Just body and size, all of their characteristics are well rounded for their position. So the study focuses on various physical fitness characteristics of high-level youth soccer players. So this article, as we'll go into, is based on 123 players from a Czech soccer league, a youth Czech soccer league. It focused on goalkeepers, fullbacks, central defenders, wide midfielders, central midfielder, and attackers. The assessment of physical characteristics, linear sprint, agility, repeated sprinting ability, and aerobic capacity. So the linear sprint, they tested the 5 meter, the 10 meter, the 20 meter. For the agility, they focused on a 505 test for acceleration and deceleration, 180-degree turn on both the dominant and non-dominant leg, and then a K test for repeated change of direction. The repeated sprinting ability, the RSA, tested for physiological response to intermittent exercise. So working hard for a certain amount of time and then a little bit of rest. So something, and then the aerobic capacity, they use the yo-yo test or the beep test. So all of these 4 tests, I believe, were good tests for what they're trying to find out about specific positions. Linear sprinting, agility, repeated sprinting, and then aerobic capacity are all very important parts of our sport. So again, linear sprinting, just sprinting straight down the field. Agility, your ability to change directions, both accelerating, decelerating, and then the repeated sprinting, how much can you sprint, and then how fast can you recover. And then the aerobic capacity, not necessarily sprinting, but how long can you run for without reaching a point where you have just finished and can no longer perform a run. So very good test there. The results, tests show wide midfielders have greater fitness performance than goalkeepers. That makes a lot of sense. You'll see in this article, in this research study, everyone has better performance than the goalkeepers. Goalkeepers had lower fitness performance than fullbacks and central defenders. Midfielders' change of direction on the non-dominant leg was better than goalkeepers. Aerobic capacity and repeated sprint ability were better in all positions than goalkeeper. The fullbacks had best repeated sprint ability. This makes a lot of sense. We touched on this in the other video. Fullbacks, wide backs, they run it down the field, running back. Especially in today's game, the wide defenders, wide fullbacks, wide players, they're up and down the field a lot more, involved in the game a lot more. So their repeated sprint ability, they're definitely going to have a better repeated sprint ability than other players. Central defenders and central midfielders had the worst. So most of the time, central defenders, central midfielders, they're jogging. So they're not necessarily just sprinting. Especially central midfielders, they're just keeping a constant pace, trying to support the play, and then get into once in a while sprinting into spaces they need to get into. Central defenders, same thing. They may only need to be sprinting when they're trying to track with a player that is sprinting also. So for discussion, model and strategy of physical preparation must be specific. So how the training is being created for certain players, there needs to be a strategy to it, and preparing the players individually is going to be very important for a match game. Training should be conducted for specific playing positions as close to match conditions as possible. That measuring physical performance could be useful in predicting future success in soccer. This is an important point. So the test that they had done, measuring yourself in a training, or coaches or yourself when you're doing individual training, setting up certain measurements to hit or goals to hit, and measuring yourself and how you're reaching those goals. If you're able to measure your performance and then work on specific things that need to increase or get better, you're going to have a better chance, and it's going to be able to predict how well or how successful you may be in your future games, matches, or soccer career. So the limitations of this article, this was the grass type may be a limitation. This was done on artificial grass, non-match play stressors. As we know, training can get as close to match play as possible, but it isn't match play. So that is something that's different. When you go into a game, you have a different mentality than going into a training. no matter how hard that training may be, or how they're trying to match that training to a game. It's just not the same. All these tests were done without a ball. So we also know sprinting with a ball, agility with a ball, very different than without a ball. Also, this was done with youth elite male subjects. It wasn't done with any other players. So, for example, females or lower level players, they were not considered in this study. So, doing a study with these players, especially females at an elite level, would be most beneficial. Conclusion. So significant differences in sprint performance amongst all the different positions. Fullbacks had the best repeated sprint ability. Significant differences between playing position and physical fitness require for each position. So determining if you're a coach, especially looking at players and testing them on their physical fitness will help actually determine where you could position them on the field. Sometimes this is tough to do because players think they are set or parents think they're set for one position. So if you're a player, you need to be open-minded to where you should or could be playing on the field, because it could be more beneficial to you playing in a different position that is more suited for your physical fitness. The results of the study can aid in coaches building successful teams through position-specific training. So using this research, using the different tests that the study showed, could help set up players, coaches, teams to be successful in games. So how can we use this study? For players, identifying your position and then using the tests that were here to help develop your skills or your fitness abilities. Again, there's no skills in this, but developing your physical fitness ability is going to be very important. We know in the game soccer, you probably touch the ball for a total of 3 minutes in a game. So working on the other 87 minutes, if you're playing 45-minute halves or 90-minute games, then you're going to be running a lot and you're going to be engaging in more physical fitness than you are skills. Track your test results. So test yourself, track your test results, and then work on improving those physical test results. And as for coaches using this, you can design sessions that focus on individual player positions. So throughout this article, we touched on the different physical characteristics, physical abilities for central defenders, central midfielders, outside players, forwards, using this to then take into your practices and making sure that each individual group, if you can't do each individual player, but each individual group has their own specific exercises, training, conditioning that you are implementing, so it is benefiting them, which will in turn benefit the whole team, and then take it into a match and start to see success. So thank you for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, comment. We will be doing a part 3. We have another article that went along with the blog post. So yeah, please check out our blog post also. And again, thank you for watching.